Hey guys, so are we also welcome to My Way Tarot. This will be a general reading for all Leo placements. Everything you need to know about myself, the reading, or the channel can be found in the description box below. So we're just going to use this deck for this reading today. This is the Modern Witch Tarot. Angels of Love and Light, could please have clear and concise messages for all Leo placements. What do they need to know, or what do they need to hear in regards to the current energies for whenever they come across these timeless tarot messages? What do they need to hear? What do they need to know for the current energies, please? And thank you. Please bear in mind that this is a general reading, so with the messages, only take what you feel resonates and leave the rest. And please use your own sense of discernment with the messages and not force them to fit with a particular situation. Just cutting up the deck for you now. Okay, oh, they wanted to come through. And this one. So some extra cards for you guys. Bottom of the deck, we have the Hang One, Pisces energy. And then we have the Nine of Wands. We have the Six of Pentacles. And we have the Eight of Swords. Okay. So this energy that you have been dealing with has only been temporary. But it's probably felt like it's gone on forever, whereby you have felt maybe at your wit's end to do with something. Maybe you've dealt with a lot of difficulties and challenges, maybe in regards to your health, your career, your business, your finances. Okay, you may have felt very much stuck here. You've been waiting on your ships to come in with those Three of Wands and hoping and wishing and praying basically that things would finally move into some sort of balance here with this Temperance Sagittarius energy, and for that your hard work to basically pay off here. But what I'm getting is that to hold on in there just that little bit longer, okay? And I know that must be so irritating to hear. Trust me, I get it, guys. I am myself a Leo sun, okay? And I myself have also gone through some sort of turmoil, okay? I'm not going to go into it, but I so totally feel you guys, right? It's been a lot, especially probably the last 6-7 months or so, or by the end of last year, when there was Mars was retrograde in your sign and then in the sign of Cancer. I know that it's been direct for a moment, but it still has had some sort of lasting effects because of the post-shadow period to do with that Mars retrograde. So I do believe that as of now it is direct, but you know, the effects of that particular transit were really heavy, right? And as I'm filming this today, I do believe that now Saturn has moved into the sign of Aries, but it has been in the sign of Pisces for quite some time, okay? And that also has probably been playing a big part in regards to your overall life as well, depending on where you have Pisces in your birth chart. But over the next few months, as we have Saturn in Aries, okay, there is the sense of a shift, there is a change, and you're not going to be feeling as stuck, okay, or held back or dealing with so many delays as there has been up until now. So guys, I totally feel, you know, what you're feeling here. There's been a lot of overthinking, anxiety, worry, concern, stress, especially if you haven't had much improvement or advancement to do with particular areas in your life, or you've been dealing with the sense of plateau. But I'm hearing timing has been everything, right? And there may be a lot that's going on around you that you don't necessarily know and understand as to why there have been these implications in the first place. But what I'm feeling is that you've learned a lot over this period of time, okay? And it's now really important to take a moment to reflect on everything that you've gone through, probably this past half year or so, right? And really consider what that particular time was teaching you. And I feel like you've got to this position and place where you have the sense of awareness and enlightenment about the situation. You have the sense of clarity. And I feel like things are going to be moving forward a lot more for you now. and you're going to have a much clearer idea about what you're doing next, where you're going next, how to invest your time, your effort, your energy, your money, in regards to certain areas of your life, right? Because there is new energy coming through, and this is going to provide you with so much relief. Okay. And yeah, I know it's been a lot, guys, and I totally get it. But there is the sense of with the winds of change are coming through, right? Especially now as we're in Gemini season, you know, the air sign energy, it's a lot quicker moving energy than Taurus, right? Than the Pentacles. So yeah, Nine of Wands again coming out. If this really wanted to be seen, I feel like you're kind of wary about what's up ahead of you. You're expecting some sort of trouble, or something isn't going to work out in your favor. And this has been really challenging. Okay, again, Ten of Swords. There has been this deep kind of rooted issue, this sense of fear that, you know, you're never going to get yourself out the woodwork, right? You're never going to see the wood for the trees. You're never going to feel like you're actually moving forward, and knowing that you can feel a lot more secure within oneself, in your own vessel, I'm hearing, in your own body, but also in regards to your physical life as well, with certain material things, or just about your life here, which is really quite fascinating. We have the Seven of Wands. Lots of fire coming through for you guys, obviously. Seven of Wands, Nine of Wands. With the Wheel of Fortune, I mean, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, Sagittarius energy. I was picking up that this cycle is closing and a new one is beginning, okay? So you've definitely felt like you've been in fight or flight, or you've been just trying to do whatever you can to survive, okay? But you've been waiting for this time to come through, and it is coming in, okay? With the Lovers Gemini energy. Look at this. And I had briefly just mentioned a few moments ago about us being in Gemini season, and how there is the turning around. The tables are changing and turning in your favor with the Nine of Pentacles. So I do feel like there's this increase in your finances, okay? Something working out to do with your career or projects, or to do with your business. Something is improving in regards to your health as well, which is also going to make you feel so much better about everything. I'm hearing health is wealth. So maybe, even though there's been a lot of focus, I'm hearing, and worry to do with the finances, right? I feel like some of you are trying to detach from this sense of this need for these finances and then focus on other areas of your life, to just try to not have it so that you're in your head as much as you have been. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, again, Nine of Swords. But I feel like finances have been a real pain, okay? They have been a sore spot for you, right? Whether that's because, you know, you've had difficulties with, you know, getting a job, okay, if you're unemployed, or whether your business just hasn't been kind of progressing in the way that you'd like it to. You've had difficulties in regards to, you know, maybe getting clients or networking with certain individuals in order to lock down certain deals, etc. It's all changing, and it is coming in with the Page of Pentacles, okay? But that has been difficult to kind of grasp, because you feel over it with this Four of Cups, because you felt like, well, how much longer? When is this actually coming in? And I get it. It's like you're kind of on tender hooks. You're on tender hooks. But look, Ten of Cups. Everything is kind of working out, and all will be well with that Four of Wands as well, the 1111 card, and the King of Pentacles. I'm hearing you're going to have more than enough. Something is going to be changing your life so drastically. There's a particular offer or an opportunity that's making its way to you. or it's coming back around. Okay. If it's something that's coming back around, you may have not given it the time, the attention that it actually needed before, because you were so caught up with other things going on in your life, right? And you may have looked over whatever this was in the past and potentially thought, well, maybe I've missed out on that particular opportunity, right? To look into this a little bit further or find out more information to do with this. I feel like this is something that could be coming back around for you, so that you could have another opportunity, another go at looking through whatever this is or finding out more information, so that you can take that kind of chance to do with this, if this is something that you feel inclined to do, or it does genuinely feel good for you to kind of take on here. But then again, if something is coming back around and you're not necessarily sure, then you could be and you thought that you missed out on this particular opportunity, it comes back around again, and you're just going to get some sort of closure by going, actually, upon reflection, looking at this again, maybe I didn't really necessarily miss out on what this was, and now I have that sense of closure in myself that I did the right thing to not give it the time, the attention, the effort or energy that I potentially felt that maybe I should have done in the past, but then intuitively you knew it probably wasn't right, and then you're confirming it to yourself that it was the right thing to do, to either refuse the offer or to kind of put it aside here and close that situation up so that you don't get contacted any further. I just heard. Okay, so that may be something that resonates for someone. Yeah, you could be just putting it out there and saying, I really appreciate, you coming back around, or we speaking about this. Upon reflection, I'm going to actually say no to this. At least now we know where we're at with each other and nobody's time is getting wasted, and it's just kind of like drawing a line in the sand type of thing, right? If that resonates for someone. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius coming through with that Queen of Swords. Okay, what else have we got here? Please and thank you for Leo. Ten of Cups. What's to go underneath the Seven of Wands, please and thank you? Oh, wow. Okay, thank you. So 3 cards, which is what we wanted. We have the Queen of Wands. There's you, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have the 2 of Wands and the Hanged One again, Pisces energy, with the 8 of Wands. 2 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, and then the Hierophant, Taurus energy. So I do believe, obviously we're still in the month of May, okay? We got those last few days, 4 or 5 days of May left. So there's something about, as we approach into next month, as we get into June, where things are really picking up for you, really transforming in some sort of major way, to do with something particular in your life, or maybe a whole host of areas. It just depends, right, on what you've got going on. But I do feel as well that this is a really important time for you to communicate with others, okay? Whether that is to initiate certain conversations here in regards to networking, whether that is to do with putting yourself out there because of maybe online, so that you can attract in new clients. I'm getting an energy to do with community. Wow, I was trying to say communication again, but I said something about community, like community spirit. So you may have actually created your own sense of a community, or this is something that you're wanting to do, but community is going to be very important. And I'm hearing vital actually for this next level up with your growth here with that 6 of Pentacles. Okay. I'm getting widening your circle of friends may be significant, or there's something to do with giving back to the community, or there's people from the community that are giving to you here in order to support you with certain dreams that you've wanted to have realized for yourself in a particular endeavor, right? Maybe if you're an entrepreneur or a content creator or something like this may be important here. I want to look into this Wheel of Fortune, please, and thank you, for Leo. We have the 10 of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, look, 10, 10, 10 is significant. And then we have Judgment, Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius placements could be important here. What else for this Wheel of Fortune? Okay, that really wanted to come through. We had the 5 of Cups. Anything else for this? 5 of Wands. So 55 or 555 is significant. The Emperor. We have Aries energy. We have the 2 of Swords and the Hierophant, Taurus energy, with the Sun, Leo. There's you at the bottom of the deck, okay? With the Queen of Swords and the Page of Cups. Okay, just give me a second, guys. Okay, so the message that I'm picking up on is that some of you have been dealing with a certain environment that has not necessarily been that great for you, whether that's a living situation, whether that is to do with the workplace. There's something to do with an actual physical location where you spend a lot of your time. It's just a sense of you felt stuck in this particular place, right? Either because you didn't feel like you had a certain finances or resources or savings in order to get the sense of movement to remove yourself from a situation or something to take in its place. Like, for instance, if you've wanted to move to a different location, if you've wanted to potentially move out of if you're living with like family or your parents or something like that, or to do with a certain neighborhood, you've wanted to get out, you wanted to move forward because you have just genuinely felt like your growth has been stunted, or like you can't really get much more out of this particular position and place that you're living with whoever you're around. Either that, or it's to do with a business or a company or an institution that you work for if you're employed, and you may be feeling, look, I'm really not going to be getting much more out of this. And so you could be trying to look elsewhere, but there could be that sense of fear or worry because of the competitive market where you're going to be getting something to replace whatever this is. So then you feel sure within yourself that you can actually leave of this particular job and go somewhere else, or whether you are able to move on to have of something that is your own. If it's the sense of wanting your own place to live, right? Because I feel like you're wanting to have more like independence here. Some of you may actually have just been relatively fed up or feeling relatively sad because you've been working full time, being employed somewhere, and it's just the sense that I'm hearing you could be done with some of the people that you're dealing with. Like, there could be a lot of pettiness, office politics. There's a sense of competitiveness, or just something just doesn't sit right with the people that you work with or the team that you're in. And I say team as in like in brackets, because yes, technically it may be a team, but you don't feel like you're pulling together as a team, and things feel a bit disjointed, or there's been breakdowns in communications, or there's just been a sense of challenge to do with being on the same page as other individuals, and you may be feeling like you're on your last nerve to deal with that, and you're like, do you know what, maybe it would be worthwhile for me to set about some sort of time, so therefore I can create something and establish something solid for myself as like a side hustle, or a creative pursuit, so that therefore I can become self-employed at some point, or I'm able to bring in some sort of passive income, some extra revenue streams of income, so therefore I'm not so heavily reliant on having to be at this particular place or working with these types of people in this environment to do with this job. And so therefore you could then go into a position and place of, well, rather than being full-time, I can cut down my hours to being part-time, or I could be like a freelancer instead, whereby I'm not necessarily having to have myself confined to living in a certain type of way, so that you have more flexibility in your workday like life here, your work-life balance. That's the vibe I'm picking up on. I also feel like you're wanting to have a lot more fun. Okay, I feel like things have been very heavy, very serious, and you've not really been fully like able to just be your usual happy, bubbly, lively, fun, outgoing self, because I feel like you've dealt with a lot of heaviness, and so therefore it's like you've been really out of your element. But you've been coming up against a load of things here that have really made you kind of not your usual self, and this has been really sad. So I feel like there's something that's changing here, whereby a lot that is going to be taken off your plate. Okay, but I feel for the most part you've had to do a lot here in order to address of certain things yourself, and it's just been taking a lot out of you. Maybe you've just been feeling really quite drained, exhausted. Maybe you're in the need of a break, of a holiday, just to take some time out for yourself, to regroup or reevaluate certain things. But I am picking up on this energy as well, that you guys are very much like passionate, you're very motivated. I'm hearing usually very much inspired, and you kind of go after what you want. But there's been so much that's been happening whereby you've not really been able to kind of fully sink into your own energy here and do the things that bring you that sense of joy, that sense of pleasure in your life, that sense of fun. I feel like that's actually what you guys have been missing out on. Or you're trying to figure out how you can reinstate and set certain, like maybe time for yourself, or make more breaks in your day-to-day life, so therefore you can do the things that make you feel good, do the things that bring you that sense of joy. And so therefore there is more of an equilibrium to do with your life here. I know that may sound a little bit wordy, but I'm getting what I'm getting. Another 5 just flew out here, guys. 5 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. Yeah, you've been dealing with a lot. Do you know what? The other message I'm getting is that you could be getting a little bit, I'm hearing, peed off, because you may feel like your energy is being pulled about here, there, and everywhere because of certain individuals that you're around a lot. And so therefore it's difficult to kind of say no or set boundaries with certain people here. So I feel like you could be trying to stand firm on your decisions and saying, look, I don't necessarily have to give you a reason as to why I'm not going to be partaking in this or assisting you with that or what have you. I'm just not available, right? I'm just not available in order to do this. Even if you are available, that's not none of their business. That's what I just heard. Okay. That's it. I just heard something. Why others feel like there's a difference between being available and being free. Not to confuse availability and being free as the same thing. Yes, you may be available. Yes, you may be free, but doesn't necessarily mean that you if you're wanting in your free time, even though you're available, to do absolutely nothing, and then you say you're not available when you are telling yourself that yes you are, but you're not letting them know that, that's none of their business. So I'm getting something to do with um, however you choose to spend of your free time, whether you're available or not, and not to let somebody else make you feel a certain type of way or feel bad about the fact that you're saying that you're not available, even if you are. If they were like to call you out on it and be like, look, well, I know you're free at this time, I know that you're available, why are you saying this, that, and the third? And you could be like, not blurting it out, but you may just be like, well, because I have my own goddamn life and it's none of your effing business. I know that sounds blunt, but that's what I'm hearing, okay? And what I choose to do in my free time, in whatever I'm available or not, it's got nothing to do with you. And so I feel like you could be having some, not like strong words as such, but definitely there's a sense of asserting oneself or backing yourself again, not against, well, kind of like against certain individuals, whether that's friends or family or work colleagues, right? Um, and you could have been really worried about doing this, but actually, what I'm hearing is like God, source, the universe, your spirit guides are actually encouraging you to do this. Like they're encouraging you to stand true to yourself, stand up for yourself, set boundaries, say no. But like at the end of the day, you've got to do what you feel is right and best for you and lead and love your life, right? Rather than just being like a supplement to everybody else to assist of them. Because when the time comes, or when the time has come in the past, when you've needed others, it's not like they've been lining up at the door wanting to come in order to assist you, to be of that supplement to you or to assist you. It's like you've been the one that's there for everyone else, helping them get through their trials and tribulations and their challenges, and then feeling worse off afterwards and feeling drained and exhausted, and then not having much room for yourself or much left over for yourself. And then you're wondering why you're not necessarily further afield in particular areas of your life, is because we only have a set amount of energy per day, right? And a set amount of time per day, and our time and our energy is precious. And if it's always going around to like, yes, I'll be there for so and so, or I'm doing this, or I've got to speak to them, or they've asked me to quickly come and do that, or to do of this for them, and it's just a sense of it all adds up. And then at the end of the day, you're looking back on everything going, well, I didn't get to achieve what it was I wanted to for the day because of this. Or I wasn't able to start off that particular business or create that website, or I wasn't able to go out for a nice long walk in order to get my steps in so that I could be looking after my health better, or I wasn't able to work on this particular project in order to kind of kickstart this to put out there and what have you, because of this, that, and the third. So I'm really getting this whole sense of like new sense of like assertiveness coming through for you, like on another level, right? I'm getting this energy of like having the courage. That's a wow. Okay, bear with me. I just heard having the courage to be disliked. Having the courage to be disliked. So there could have been something here where there had been the sense of concern or worry about if somebody was going to be seeing you in a certain way. Okay. And now I feel like you're in this energy with this Queen of Wands where you're like, do you know what? I actually genuinely don't give a monkey's if I'm disliked. If the shoe's on the other foot and, you know, I'm the one that's asking out for help and everything else, they've kind of put resistance in place, or they haven't stepped up to the plate to be there of a support to me. They've done the opposite. So there's a sense of like entitlement that they have, right, to you and your energy, right? But When it's the other way around and you're asking them, they're nowhere to be found. They're hanging on back here. King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Yeah, you're seeing things from a completely different perspective now. And I feel like you're getting ready to wholeheartedly like embrace connections and situations that are only balanced here with the Six of Pentacles. And if it's not, then you're not tolerating it. If there's been anything to do with keeping the peace or playing happy families or whatever, right? I really am getting this strong impression where you're just like, do you know what? Sod this. Sod this. Everyone else seems to be feeling at peace because I'm doing the utmost here and asserting myself in certain ways in order to mediate things, to keep off the peace, so there is no rocking of the boat and keeping order in this situation, right? But what about my peace? What about my own peace of mind? Nobody seems to really matter, like, as in, nobody else seems to feel like it really matters that I'm putting myself out of joint, right? In order to be keeping of the peace for making sure everything is running smoothly or giving off an impression or a certain illusion here, right? But all in all, they're not necessarily coming through and asking me whether I'm genuinely okay, whether I'm genuinely fine, when actually I'm effing miserable. That's the type of vibe I'm picking up on. And so now I feel like you're like, do you know what? I'm no airs and graces here. I'm kind of fed up with all of this. And no, I'm not going to be doing the extra or going the extra mile here to be keeping the peace or keeping things in a certain way because, you know, I've got my own dreams, my own goals, my aspirations. I've got things that I'm wanting to fulfill and bring in for myself. And I've got a life to lead as much as you have. And this has just not been fair, I'm hearing. You may have felt held back in some sort of way, right? Obviously, with these messages, just take me full resonates. You're wanting to move forward here with that Knight of Cups. I feel like your intuition has been telling you on some level to speak up for yourself. Or if you're not speaking up for yourself, then you're kind of making moves, right? To move yourself on. And then when certain things are situated or established, then you're going to be making the moves and just going for it. Gemini season is significant. We are in Gemini season as of right now with the lovers. The universe is encouraging you to do whatever you feel is right and best for you. And with doing all this, you're going to be so very blessed with the star, Aquarius energy. Genuinely lovely, right? What else here, please, for Leo? The other message I'm picking up on is that if you guys have been single, right, I really do feel like there's a switch up, there's a change to do with your love life, okay? I feel like there could be a specific person that you have wanted to have some sort of movement with, but there hasn't been much happening to do with this connection. I feel like you have past history with this person, and there's been the sense of wanting to reconcile and work it out, but there's been a breakdown in communication, right? So what I'm getting is that there is somebody that's coming through to communicate with you, and they're wanting to have something more established with you and deepen of the connection, and maybe even come through with an apology with the Page of Cups. But also I feel like you have new love coming in as well, right? And if there is someone in particular that you've wanted to come through, right, and things were maybe a bit touch and go in the past, and maybe you potentially opened up to certain individuals about this person, about whatever happened, however long ago it was, and they come back around and you're wanting to work things out with this person, yeah, there may be difficulties with certain people in your life, whether that's friends or family or whoever you spoke to about this, that may be trying to warn you off the idea of having anything more with this person, right? because of what's previously been said. So then it's the sense like you're looking back going, gosh, wish I didn't have said of anything and I just kept it to myself, because the actual prospect of this person coming back around is now going to potentially cause some sort of complications in my life to moving forward with this person, because we're actually working it out, and it can make it feel like it's a bit, you know, weird with the other people that are potentially around me, right? But if you and someone are all going to be working it out and it's absolutely fine, and you did say off something, or if even if you didn't say off something, and then there are people like friends or family that are like, for some reason, right, making some sort of excuse as to why you shouldn't move on forward with this particular person, either being petty or making some sort of random reason up as to why you and this person wouldn't be a good fit, or they're not good enough for you, or you're too good for them, and all that blah de blah kind of stuff. If you and someone feel like it's right, okay, and you feel like this is something that was meant for you, and you're wanting of this to happen and wanting this to work and wanting it to move forward and deepen and take things to the next level, then just kind of like everybody else's comments, just water off a duck's back. Just move forward in your truth, in your knowing and understanding of the depth of the connection, because you feel it on an emotional and spiritual level, and you feel like you cross paths for a reason, and you're wanting more from this. Then not to kind of let all these others interfere in a way that's going to potentially get you guys to, you know, continue on with a separation or to break up, like especially if you feel like it's a deep soul connection and you're wanting it to work and it's worthwhile, then continue with that. And if it means you have to walk away from certain people, certain places here, or even from your old life to a certain extent, to start a life anew with this new person, or this person coming back around, whatever it is, then go ahead and do that, because the people that supposedly love you and support you want to see you happy, right? And if there's going to be a solid investment to do with a connection here, and it is going to be long lasting, then it's worth taking a shot, isn't it? With that Page of Cups as I go to break up the deck again. And this would work out really lovely for you both with the Ace of Wands. If you feel it on a soul level that you and someone are really to make a go of it and to move it on forward, regardless of everyone else's opinions, as long as you feel like you're doing the right thing for you and you're living your life how you wish to, then go ahead and do that. Anything else for Leo? Six of Cups, yeah, I definitely am getting the impression of like a past life connection, a past life soulmate, high level soulmate, twin flame energy here of two people coming back together is a strong possibility. Yeah, with Temperance and the Eight of Pentacles, it's like the higher realms, God, source, the universe are wanting these two people to work it out, okay, to take care of the connection and balance things and bring harmony with the Six of Pentacles. Because I feel like this has probably been a long time coming for two people, that you've both intuitively felt that you were drawn to each other for a reason with that High Priestess. I'm now getting drawn to say something, okay, with this moon coming through, the new moon in Cancer, and I do believe as I'm filming this today, it's the new moon in Gemini, but then after the new moon in a couple of weeks is the full moon in Sagittarius, and then the new moon in Cancer. So there's something about the next 4 weeks in particular that are highly significant here. Maybe in regards to love, or just for certain transits that happen in all other areas of your life, where there's a lot of positivity, excitement, good news with that Page of Wands. For you, that's manifesting with the Magician, Gemini, Virgo, Scorpio. And it could very well be love with the Two of Cups. Really, really interesting. Okay. Yeah. Getting together, having fun with the Three of Cups. Any other final messages just in general for Leo? Any other final messages just in general for Leo? What do they really need to know? What else? Thank you. Page of Wands in reverse. Queen of Cups. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Seven of Pentacles. Ten of Wands and one more. Seven of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. King of Cups. And the King of Pentacles. The message I'm getting, especially in regards to love, I feel like you have had enough of anything that potentially could be just for short-term fun, right? Let's just call it as it is. I feel like you guys are not really interested in anything that is like a situationship or something casual or friends with benefits or just here for a good time, not a long time. I don't feel like you guys are interested in that whatsoever. Okay, I feel like you guys are wanting something that is genuinely going to last, that's something you could truly invest in, a connection with someone that you could build and that you could maybe blend a family with if you already have children, or start a family, something that's going to lead to a long-term commitment, maybe even marriage. You're looking for something a lot more mature and a lot more balanced, where you're feeling that sense of appreciation, feeling appreciated, okay? And I feel like you're going to look on this particular connection that comes in, right, in the near future, is what I'm hearing. And you're going to realize why all the other situations in the past, other love connections, romantic situations, what have you, didn't work in the past, is because they weren't meant to, right? And you learned a lot through those particular stages in your life. You guys have options, of course you do. You're always going to have options. You're always going to have people that are very attracted to you and wanting whether something casual with you or something long term. It's just, part and parcel of it, right? But I feel like you're in this position and place now where you're like, if it's not leading me to where I feel like I'm going to be living my best life and I feel solid and secure within myself and my life, and I'm going towards what makes me feel good and trying to build on my future and secure my future and go after my dreams and all the things that I still want to do whilst I'm here on this planet, and have somebody there beside me as a solid support system in my life, and I being the same for them and having that sense of loyalty and trust and respect, then I don't want it, right? I'm not interested. So yeah, I feel like if there are people that are reaching out and they are showcasing the sense of interest, I feel like you're gonna, here I just heard, you're gonna drop them like a lead balloon, right? you're just gonna, quite not bluntly, but you, in a very fair, diplomatic, warm, kind-hearted way, you're just gonna say, look, I appreciate this and everything else, but I just don't feel like this is something that is kind of in alignment with what it is that I'm after, or what it is that I'm wanting. And but letting somebody down gently, maybe that kind of vibe, right? 44 minutes and 44 seconds as I say that. Okay. So yeah, I do genuinely feel like you actually have a much clearer vision of what it is that you want and what it is that you're after here. And I feel like you're wanting someone who also is in that same boat as you, right? Who knows what they want, knows where they're going in their life, feeling secure within themselves, somebody that's confident, somebody that has dreams and aspirations and goals, and kind of like this dream team type of vibe, right? I feel like that's a lot more along the lines of what you're after, whereby you're having something more long term that could potentially lead to marriage, right? I'm hearing I wasn't celibate for this long for no reason or for nothing, right? I didn't abstain for this long, just to kind of the last hurdle, have that sense of temptation with someone and then, do all that. Obviously, there's no judgment here, but I feel like you're kind of really holding on out for somebody who is going to be matching your energy, matching your vibe. And I'm hearing it will really pay off and it will be worthwhile. And you'll get exactly what it is that you want in regards to something um, long term. Okay. Very interesting energy. Anyway, guys, that's all the kind of messages I'm picking up for you at the moment. But I hope that there's been some messages, a few messages, if not the whole reading, that potentially resonated. We have strong Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Cancer, Pisces, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, pretty much all the signs, to be honest, but they came through the most. 999, 333, 777, 717, 711, 1010, 222, 555, 444, 1212 may be significant as well, and 919. But that's the end of the reading. So I hope that there have been some messages, a few messages, if not the whole reading, that resonated. If you have enjoyed this reading and you wish to support myself and the channel, there are donation links available. There is a PayPal link in the description box below, and the other option is Super Thanks, which is listed underneath this video. So thank you so much to those of you who have already donated. I greatly appreciate you. Even if you don't financially donate, a wonderful way to energetically donate is to like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll get back to you guys on those comments when I can. So thank you so much. I do enjoy reading those, so thank you. Please hit the notification bell so you get an alert as to when I post another video for you and you don't miss out on future updates or content made available on the channel. And please feel free to check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, and North Node placements in the other zodiac sign readings that I provide to gain further insight for your timeless tarot messages. But sending love and light your way, many blessings. Please take care, and I'll see you and speak to you soon. Thank you. Bye, guys.